Now, fellow leggers, as the nights are drawing in and those evenings are turning chilly, don't despair, because we're all going on a summer holiday!
Yeah, that's because we are at the Aylesbury Waterside Theatre to see Summer Holiday.
I know, how incredible's that? So stick around for all of our thoughts, but most importantly, how many stars and whether it's break a leg or leg it. It's press night here at the Aylesbury Waterside for the UK tour. This visit right here, because it's already been out on the road for a while.
Yeah, I imagine many of you musical theatre lovers out across the regions may have seen this, as it's been on a tour already.
If you have, let us know what you thought down below. Now, it's an adaptation of the 1963 film of the same name, starring the one, the only,
Cliff Richard.
Sir Cliff Richard.
Sir Cliff, of course he's a sir, isn't he?
It had the Shadows in it, his band. It also had Ron Moody in the film, who's the original Fagin, and Una Stubbs, who I love.
Have you seen it?
Do you know what? I've never seen it. I'm talking like I have.
I've never seen it either. I know the song. Everybody knows the song.
I know the song. I roughly know the story. But the story is of a group of London bus mechanics who convert a traditional double-decker into a caravan and head out across Europe on the vacation of a lifetime.
Okay.
Stage show premiered in the mid-90s, starring, you know this.
Darren Day.
Yeah,
that's when he went out on a tour.
He was in the role of Don, which is the Cliff Richard part in the film. But now in the production here, it's Ray Quinn playing Don. Ray Quinn of, I think he started out in Brookside, if I'm right.
Yes, and did you say X Factor?
Yeah, X Factor and Dancing on Ice.
Okay.
He's a bit of a huffer. Little bit of a huffer. Directed by Racky Plews, this production. We saw Racky Plews' production of American Idiot some years ago,
at
before we were
Arts
leggers.
Theatre, is that
yes,
right?
And it was phenomenal.
It was great.
She seems to know how to stage a show. She also did Knights of the Rose, which we covered in our roundup from the summer, but we didn't see it, and look that up. So 2 acts, there'll be an interval, which means there's time for a break, a leggers 30-second interval breakdown.
And stick around to the end to find out our thoughts. So we've come to the interval of Summer Holiday, which means it is time for the Break-a-Leggers 30-second interval breakdown. Go! What do you think?
I'll start with me. There's a huge amount of positives. The choreography is dazzling. Some of the performances are really sharp. I'm enjoying certain elements of it. I am not enjoying more, but I hope it comes together in the end.
Okay, I don't know much more to say. I think the star of the show definitely is the choreography. The cast, very talented, sprightly cast. I don't really care that much, and it's a very dated story. Some of it is making me a bit cringy.
We've come to the end of summer holiday at the Aylesbury Waterside Theatre, and thank God for that.
What a journey that was. Well, this is going to be a real tricky review to do. I think we really need to unpick this, because there are some, I would almost go as far as to say, offensive elements to this, but also some really nice elements. So let's try and pick it apart. I know you've got some very strong views.
Subjective about this.
Subjective? What do you mean objective?
I'm lost for words at how bad the book is, and what a shameless cash cow putting this out on the road and charging people to see a piece which is a product of the 60s and belongs firmly in that time period and should not be on the road in 2018. I think the sheer audacity of it is to be, commended. Wow, guys.
What do you mean? What do you mean? The Daily Mail loved it.
Of course they loved it, because have you ever seen a less diverse cast?
I've got to say, if you're putting on Summer Holiday, it's going to attract a certain audience.
Yeah.
And that audience is typically white, British, and sadly that also reflects in the cast. I have seen, it's a real shame by today's standards, and we did say that we are going to comment on diversity within the cast, and unfortunately, I guess this is the creative's fault. the cast, we'll come on to the cast later, a very talented cast, but the cast is just white. A whitewash of white faces.
Yeah.
And it doesn't need to be.
And as you mentioned, I mean, I think not having
Period pieces
diversity
don't
on
need to be.
stage means that you don't attract a diverse audience. And the audience for this show is aged, and as a result, this could possibly be the last ever production of Summer Holiday you get to see on the road, and hope to God it is.
So I guess that's the piece. It's kind of sexist
Yeah.
at times. It's misogynistic.
I am flabbergasted that this script could land in a director's lap, and for them to go, yeah, that's for me, without the only thing being on their mind is the money. Like, because it is pulling in a crowd. But if this script literally fell on my doormat, I would be returned to sender.
So I guess that's the piece. Okay, so we've broken that down. So now let's briefly talk about the venue.
Oh
Let's
my
get some
God, it's the most
positives.
beautiful.
The venue is
Do you know what?
lovely.
The venue shines because like it overshadows the fact that it's showing
The venue
this
is lovely.
This piece is not good, which just makes the venue look even better. But
And
the
the
venue
staff are
is
lovely.
and the staff are great.
Okay, so that's one positive.
Yeah, that's one positive. That is certainly the Aylesbury Waterside is wonderful, and please come and see something here because it's just
We
a great
often
experience.
talk about lighting. Lighting was shoddy in this.
Lighting was shocking
a
in
bit
this.
of a lacking any
Tim
colour.
dealing, yeah. I mean, just one. I mean, pretty much one state throughout, and no dynamicism.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if
at all.
that's just this venue, whether they had trouble lighting from the front, but anyway.
Because it is a big space.
It is. The lighting wasn't great. It was lacking colour altogether. To start with, everyone's in blacks, and it's against a black curtain, so you're struggling to see people. I was kind of thinking maybe it's because we're going to have a burst of colour when we get the bus, but still it was a wash.
Never
a
happened.
real kind of matte meh.
Yeah, a mat meh.
Okay,
matte meh.
let's go on to something good. Let's talk about choreography.
I mean, the choreography is the same
Choreography was
person as the
great.
director. It's Racky Plews' choreography, and it's sharp. It was. Do you know what? It was a lot of fun. The choreography was. It was thoroughly engaging from an audience point of view, and it was delivered by a really capable. I could almost tell in some cases that this cast would dance as first, actor second, and it felt like a dance piece at times, which was, it is engaging.
Okay, so
I was engaged by
I
that.
agree. I think the strength in the choreographer director is the choreography, and the strength in the cast is predominantly in the vocals and in the dancing. Fantastic choreography, really pushed the limits and performed by a really strong dance cast. So that was really good. The bits in between, the songs could have left, could have dropped easily. I didn't really care. It's wet, it's meh, and wasn't
It's
directed.
worse than that. It's misogynistic,
very well.
it's homophobic, it's racist, it's xenophobic. It is just a horribly prejudiced, biased piece of pap for the Daily Mail reader.
So I guess that's the choreography. The choreography was
sorry,
good.
we were talking about choreography.
And performed well. Let's go on to some cast members. Oh, what a surprise!
Yes.
In the lead,
Yeah,
male.
Ray Quinn is an absolute sensation.
Who knew?
If I found out he was in the show, I would buy a ticket on the strength of him alone.
Yes.
Wonderful singing voice,
Beautifully.
fantastically accomplished dancer, believable actor. He is a true old-fashioned triple threat, I would say. He had this classic musical theatre-ness about him.
Yeah.
So it harping back to sort of old Michael Ball, that sort of, probably more talented than, but oh gosh, that's controversial. But no, I was a real treat.
He had a fantastic tone to his voice, almost very Bublé-esque. I could see.
Loved him.
It came back to me that he sang kind of Rat Pack stuff. I
Yes,
think
he
on
has
the
a
X
Rat
Factor.
Pack album as
but
well,
he
I
has a
believe.
lovely tone, and I could listen to it all day.
Yeah.
And his accent was great. He was just very centered. His character very reserved, and yeah, boy, does this guy have some dance technique.
Do you know what? I can tell
he has fantastic dance
I
technique.
can tell he's a perfectionist. I'm telling he's the sort of person that puts in a lot of hard work and does it again and again and again and again until it is bloody perfect. And he is is great.
There's also an ensemble member that I really liked that I'm going to ask you to look for in the programme. He kind of played the border guard on a number of places.
Different.
He came in and out quite often.
Roles. Maybe William Beckerleg, let's say.
It was maybe him.
No, it was him, I think.
He was really good, a fantastic dancer.
William Beckerleg.
A really good actor as well, and he had a really good voice. I also liked the lead female. Personally, for me, I thought she did really well. I think I'm alone on this. I thought she was really talented. So Lega Simon will join me momentarily once I finish talking about this. I thought she sang really well, danced it beautifully, and I believed everything she did.
I really liked Rory Maguire as Cyril.
I knew you'd like him.
Oh, did you?
Cheeky chappy
character. I really liked him.
He was good as well.
I also thought Joe Goldie as Edwin being the sort of comic relief, other than a few moments of over-the-top false corpsing, was pretty good. He knew his role. He knew his part.
He was a fantastic dancer, and he's got a good voice, and he did his best in the other areas. He was committed. And you know what? They were all committed.
The problem is with we're not talking a lot about the female ensemble here, and the problem is they are very much of a time of the 60s. Yeah, they were to be seen and not heard. They were just to be eye candy and tits and teeth, and that's all you get from them as a result. And what a waste!
And they're very again, all the ensemble, female and male, but as we'll talk about the female, they are again very talented. Sounded brilliant. The moves were so sharp. They owned the choreography. However, to be kind of that symbol and idolised as just eye candy, and to show their leg and be in these tight bust things and tight.
Are we not worth more, ladies?
It's like, oh, come on, we've moved on from that. Yeah. Women have a voice. When we see things like Witness for the Prosecution, when we know at the time women were written by Agatha Christie to have big, strong characters.
Yeah, there's no excuse, is there? There's no excuse. Can we move on to the music momentarily? I thought, firstly, it was well played, like it sounded good by the band.
Well arranged, and the band was good.
Secondly, this film, the musical film originally, spawned 4 number 1 hits, and I think in isolation, the songs are good.
The songs were good.
The songs are catchy, they are of their time, but they have that 60s feel, sort of an upbeat optimism about them, which I really liked.
Didn't you say that they made a movie or filmed version of this musical, but the bits in between the musical numbers were just Darren Day talking?
Yeah.
You see, that makes sense, because the numbers are the best things about this production.
The book is where it all falls apart, and someone at some point recognised that, so well done to you if you watch it.
I happily watch the numbers again. They were well performed, well choreographed. Anything else we want to be talking about? Anything we need to pull apart?
No, I think that's pretty much covering it all, isn't it?
So I guess you're probably wondering how many stars us break-leggers are going to give the tour of Summer Holiday.
For the UK tour of Summer Holiday 2018, we are going to give 2
legs for this piece.
It's a begrudging 2 for me, I'm afraid. I just cannot get over the shamefulness of it all. A really sticking point for me, but I've got to say, generally the cast were committed. Ray Quinn is a sensation, and the choreography is very, very strong.
However, very poor on diversity. It's dated. Unfortunately, can I say this? Simon Lega left at the end because they did that age-old thing of trying to get everybody up on their feet. Forced standing ovation, which the people closest to the stage engaged in, people behind didn't, so a bit of a mix, and then they threw in some classic Cliff Richard songs. So I think if you're a fan of Cliff Richard, if you're nannies or in the music, or if they're big fans of this, then you'd probably enjoy this piece. I think for a younger audience, 2000, for us who see a lot of diverse theatre that is really creative and really of now,
target audience.
This is cringe-worthy and awkward and embarrassing and a bit, ooh, gosh, is this what people were like in the 60s?
Yeah.
Good thing we've moved on from there.
Well, I mean, we weren't in Europe at the time, but it's a good job we are now, and we're all a bit more cultured, right? Right? Right?
Anyway, that's just what we think, and it's been on tour for a while.
Yeah, so-
And it's been around for a while, so I'm sure many of you leggers have views and thoughts on this. Are we looking too deep into this?
Yeah, let us know down below. We'd love to hear from you. Remember, this is just what we think.
Just what we think.
It's more important about what you think.
So comment below and let us know.
We're the Breaker Leggers.
And we'll catch you again soon.
Bye.